Hey, my name's Sophie and welcome to your practice. Today we're doing a stretchy slow flow and we're getting started right away in downward facing dog. So right into movement today. So as you arrive in your down dog shape, we're going to first take some movement because if it's early in the day, you might need to warm up into it before you can find kind of a full expression or find stillness. So move around, shake out your head, or for me here, it's the end of the day and my legs feel pretty tight, so I really need to find that pedaling of the legs. So eventually you'll find some stillness and take your feet as wide as the mat. Keep your heels lifted off the ground and press your chest towards your thighs. So your chest is really kind of sinking between the shoulders, just for now, and then we'll do something a little different. So find that. Now I want you to draw your ribs in and move your shoulders up towards your ears. At the same time, you're still pressing into the ground and lifting your tailbone. So we have this combination of all these different movements so that we're not dipping too deep into our bones. We have some integrity to the muscles and our alignment and form. Take a full breath in through your nose and open mouth exhale. And walk your hands to the back of the mat. Keep your feet wide. Ragdoll or any kind of forward fold that feels good. Rock side to side. Switch the grip of your arms if you're in ragdoll so the other arm is in front. You could find nice big sways if you want. Some bounces maybe. Remember, it's a slow flow, so we're really taking our time to get into the body. Make sure that there's zero effort in the head and neck. So let your head be really heavy. This traction is always really nice. Can you shift your weight into your toes a bit? And then release your arms down and bring your feet to hip distance apart, so about 2 fists. And then bend your left knee and walk your hands to the right. So your hands are on the pinky toe side of your right foot. Left knee is bent, right leg is straight-ish. If you can't straighten your right leg all the way and have your hands down, then feel free to bend or just have your arms dangling. Blocks are super handy here. I'm not going to really cue where to use blocks today, but if you have them, you can always put them under your hands, like pretty much anywhere in the practice. Walk your hands to the left side, bend your right knee. Bring your awareness to your breath. We didn't really do much breath work at all in the beginning. So we bring our awareness into it now. In through your nose and out of your nose as well if possible. And walk your hands back to center. And we're going to slowly roll ourselves up to stand. Really take your time here. We were kind of down in that fold for a while. Roll the shoulders back and down. Stand tall and reach your arms up. Grab onto your elbows to make a frame around your head and take a side bend to the right. Draw your ribs slightly in so you're not back bending, you're just in a true side bend. Spread your toes. And then rise back up to center and side bend to the left. And rise back up to center. Reach your arms up. Inhale and forward fold on your exhale. Hands come down. Walk your hands back out to downward facing dog. Feet together. Then lift your right leg up to the sky. Flex your right foot and square your hips so your right toes are pointing to the ground. Your right pinky toe is pointing to the ground. Your left hip is drawing back, back, back. It might feel pretty intense through the outer left leg. Then bend your right knee like you're trying to kick yourself in the butt, so you feel your right quads engage. And open your hip to the right, so the right knee kind of lifts up, but continue to anchor your left hip back. Keep your right shoulder in line with your left shoulder. Step your right foot outside of your right hand into a lizard lunge position. And press back through your left heel as far as you can so you stretch through your left calf muscles. Press back through your heel. Keep your left quads engaged so your thigh muscles engaged. And then shift your weight forward a little bit, set your back knee down onto the ground, and untuck your toes. I always like to take a moment to kind of rock side to side here, especially if my hips are especially tight. And then come up onto your fingertips, or you can put your hands on blocks and straighten out your right leg. And at the same time, reach your right arm up, around, all the way back, and then down and come back into lizard. And then let's continue with that movement. So as you straighten your right leg, your right arm sweeps up into a full circle, well, almost a full circle, then down and into lizard. And again, straighten the leg, lift the arm up. Now that's a full circle. Bend the knee, come back into lizard, and then straighten the leg. And hand back down. Lizard. And then one more time, we're going to end with the arm all the way up with the leg straight. So pause here. Reach the arm up. Anchor your right hip back. Inhale. Exhale. Put your right hand down onto the ground. Okay, now stay on your fingertips. Round through your back like you're doing cat pose, chin into your chest. And then come into cow, arch your back, keep your legs how they are. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. Engage your core slightly. Inhale, again, exhale, round. Now we'll find a little more movement there. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep going. So breath to movement. Arching and rounding the spine, finding flexion and extension. You might notice that in cat pose, you feel a different stretch, maybe even deeper stretch through the back of the right leg, into the glute more so. Now we'll come back into neutral, bend the right knee, back into lizard, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and step into three-legged dog. Bend your knee, open up your hip again. An option to flip your dog by setting your right toes behind you and lifting your right arm up. Lift your hips. Connect to your breath. In and out of the nose. Bring it back around to three-legged dog. And step your right foot between your hands this time. Step your back foot up and in for pyramid. And lengthen your spine. Either stay here with your spine lengthened, or you might walk your hands down and fold over your right leg, allowing the spine to round. Whatever feels right to you. And as you're here, you can not only see your feet, but you can feel your feet. Spread your toes, lift through the inner arches, and press into the big toe mound on both feet. As you breathe, you're filling up the back of the lungs, the back body. Good, now we'll make our way back into lizard. We're almost off of this side, but just come into lizard with me. Lift your right arm up and roll onto the outer edges of both feet. Option to reach your right arm back. An option to even get really low. Make sure that you're not sinking into the left shoulder, so it takes a lot of strength there to maintain. Maybe you put your right hand on your inner right thigh and push it away. Put your hand back down to the ground, come back into lizard, and step back into downward facing dog. Good, let's make our way into plank, then set the knees onto the ground and lower all the way down to the ground. Lift up for cobra pose as high or low as it feels good to you. Squeeze the shoulder blades together on your back. Maybe the head comes back just a little bit without dropping it back. Breathe into the spaciousness on the front of the chest, vast open space. And then lower back down to the ground. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Breath in and out. Lift your left leg up, flex your foot, and first we're just focusing on keeping the hips level with each other. Draw the right hip back, keep both legs straight. Shoulders move towards your ears. And that might be the opposite of what you've heard before, but it's just a different way to experience alignment, more natural for the shoulders. Now bend your left knee, bring the left heel towards your glute, and open up your hips to the left. Step your left foot outside of your left hand and come into lizard and press back through your right heel. Firm up your right thigh. Set your right knee down onto the ground and untuck your toes. Come up onto your fingertips. Well, first, you can actually stay on your palms. First, we kind of rock a little side to side. Give this side also a chance to warm up. Okay, then we can come on to the fingertips. Broaden your chest. Inhale. Exhale, straighten your left leg and reach your left arm forward, up, all the way around, back down, fingertips to the ground, back into lizard. Okay, keep moving through that. Make sure you're rotating your chest to the left. 2 more of these. And on this last one, we'll stay with the legs straight in our half splits and the arm straight up. And we're rotating the chest even more to the left. Bring your chin down towards your chest and then look up towards your left fingertips. Flex your left foot a little bit more. Inhale. Exhale, put your hand down to the ground. On the fingertips, we round the spine. On your next inhale, drop the belly, open up the chest for cow pose. So back, a little back bend. And then exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl. And 2 more rounds of that. Then we'll come back into neutral. Plant the hands. Come back to lizard. Lift your back knee and step back into 3-legged dog. Bend your knee, open up your hip. And if you want, flip your dog into a wild thing. Bring it back around, 3-legged dog, and step your foot between your hands. Step your back foot up and in for pyramid. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, maybe walk your hands forward, maybe stay in a lengthened space. The left hip anchors back as you firm up your right thigh. Okay, then lift up and step back into lizard. So slide your left foot to the left. Your right leg will probably go back a little more. Then lift your left arm up to twist left and roll onto the outer edges of your feet. So I like to slide my left foot back a little further towards like the middle of the mat. And you can stay here, or you can reach your left arm back, or you can get your hips lower. You can either stay like that, or you can push your left hand into your inner left thigh. Keep your shoulders anchoring back and your spine is twisting to the left. Reach your left arm back up, hands back down, and we'll step back into downward facing dog. Shift into plank. Lower your knees down and lower all the way down to the ground. Bring your fingertips wider than the mat and lift your chest up. Lower back down. Again, lift up. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Plant your hands. Press back up either into plank or table and then downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. Step your right foot between your hands. Put your back knee on the ground and reach your arms up, Anjaneyasana. Press your hips forward and then imagine you have corn on the cob holders on your hips, squeezing in and up. Spine is long. Interlace your hands but keep your thumbs and index fingers together for Kali Mudra. And take a side bend to the right. So you want to keep your abdomen engaged so that you're not dumping into the low back. Now reach your arms back up. Open your arms. Come into a cactus and take a back bend here now. Inhale, reach your arms back up. Exhale, cactus back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Reach the arms up, put your hands down to the ground. Lift your back knee. Pyramid pose again. And then this time, keep your left fingertips down and reach your right arm up. You can always put your left hand on a block if you'd like. Bring your hand back down to the ground. Step your left foot back into low lunge. Put your back knee down. We're going to make our way into pigeon. So slide your right foot over to the left. Settle in. Can you slide your back leg a little further back? And then put your left forearm on the ground parallel to the front of the mat. Well, this is optional. If you don't want to do a variation, then, or you want to do another variation, go for it. And then put your right hand on your inner right thigh and turn to the right. If you want to, you could bend your back knee and grab onto your foot with your right hand. Can you slow down the breath? Release your foot. Bring your right hand down to the ground. Put both hands flat on the earth as you rise up. You can stay, or you could bend your back knee. Again, you can grab onto it with your left hand this time. And you could stay there, or you can maybe reach your right arm up. Maybe you put your left foot inside of your left elbow. And maybe you clasp hands behind you. Don't push yourself here or feel like you need to be here. Only if it's something that feels good right now or works. Takes a lot of balance in this right hip. Release your arms back down from wherever you were. And step back into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Step your left foot between your hands. Set your back knee down on the ground. And reach your arms up. Again, press your hips forward, but then also squeeze them in. And lift up. Interlace your hands. And again, let your shoulders be up by your ears. So you have your thumbs and index fingers together for Kali Mudra. Take a side bend to the left. A mudra is just a hand gesture. So this particular one is named after the goddess Kali. There's all different sorts of hand mudras. Come back up. Separate your arms. Cactus your arms back bend. Inhale, reach your arms up. 2 more of those. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. And then bring your hands down to the ground. We'll come into pyramid, both legs straight. Keep your right fingertips down and lift your left arm up. So when I go into this revolved version of pyramid, I like to step my right foot a little further back. That may work for your body as well, so you could try. Then we'll bring the hands back down. Put your back knee on the ground. We'll make our way into pigeon. Slide your back leg back. And then once you're settled, go into your variation. The one I'll offer is right forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Left hand on the inner left thigh, turn to the left. Option to bend your back knee and grab onto your foot. Release your foot if you have it. Come back onto your hands. Either stay there or bend your right knee and grab onto your foot with your right hand. Maybe reach your left arm up. Maybe clasp hands behind you. Try to get your chest squared forward-ish. Keep your abdomen engaged. For 3, 2, 1, and then we'll release down. That's a deep stretch. Okay, I'll step back to downward facing dog. Good, let's set the knees down onto the ground. And we're gonna go for hero's pose, Vajrasana. Well, this is Virasana. And Vajrasana is kind of similar. But your knees will go wide. And then you'll put your hands onto your calves and move your calves out of the way. And in fact, you might want to be more forward on your mat here so you have space behind you. So sit down. And you could sit on a block, and if this is painful in your knees, so not worth it to do. So come out of it and find something else. There's certainly a time for me that this hurt my knees and then it went away. So life is fluid like that. You can push into your feet. Give yourself a little massage. Okay, and if you want to go further, you can bring your hands behind you, or you can stay and continue to press your palms into your feet. This might feel good, or you can tuck your tailbone, lift your hips up a little to tuck your tailbone, and maybe bring your forearms behind you. And if you want, you can maybe come all the way down to the ground. Don't push it here. Keep your core engaged by knitting the ribs down and in. So you want that engagement, then arms can go overhead and you can grab onto your elbows. All right, let's come back up the way we came into it. So step by step, forearms first, then hands. Then you're going to bring your hands out in front of you. We're going to come into tabletop. Now tuck your toes under to give your ankles the opposite stretch of what we just did, and sit back towards your hips. And then come up onto your fingertips. Lift your knees up and round yourself into a little ball. Bring your forehead towards your knees. We're going to transition to a seat here. So however way you want to come there, you're going to take your legs straight out in front of you. Flex and point your feet a few times. And then we're going to bring the left knee in. I'm just turning to face you, but you can also turn if that's better for you on your mat. So bend your left knee like so, and take your right leg out to the right. Flex your foot. Now turn a little bit and face your left knee. Then keep that rotation, but take your right forearm and put your right forearm down on top of your right thigh. Maybe even inside of your right thigh. And put your left hand on your chest to turn and encourage your chest to turn open towards the sky. Then reach your left arm up and over your ear towards your right toes. You might reach your toes, but if it's causing you to round and collapse forward, then don't worry about that. Slowly rise back up and bring your right knee in so you have a smaller angle. Turn and face the right knee. Walk your hands down. Grab onto your shin or ankle or foot and just round and fold over your right leg. One more full breath. Slowly rise back up. We'll switch out our legs. Take your left leg out to the left, right knee in so you have a nice wide angle here, and flex the foot. Turn towards your right knee, just a little. And then take your left forearm, bring it down onto your thigh or all the way down, and take your right arm up and over. Actually, put your right hand on your chest and rotate your chest open, and then take your arm up and over. Breathe into the right side body. That's kind of the stretch we're going for here. You'll probably feel it in your hamstrings as well. Maybe several other areas. Couple more breaths. Rise back up. Make the angle a little smaller. Turn towards your left knee. Walk your hands down and fold over your left knee. Slowly rise back up. Bring your legs straight out in front of you. And again, flex and point your feet a few times. Then bend your knees. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Bring your hands behind you. And drop your knees to the right. Drop your left knee down towards the ground. You might feel it in your low back a little. You might feel it on the top of your left thigh or side of your left thigh. And then slowly bring the knees back up and drop the right knee down. Soften the muscles of the face. Let go of any gripping of the mind. We have a little bit longer, just a little bit time left in practice. Can we maintain a soft mind? Bring the knees back up. Now bring your feet a little closer together. Turn your fingertips so they're facing the front of the mat if they're not already. And then push your chest through your shoulders towards the wall that you're facing or whatever you're facing. Squeeze your shoulders towards you, towards each other. One more deep breath. Good. And we'll make our way onto our backs. So come all the way down. Hands down by your sides, fingers, palms face down. And then bring your heels a little bit closer to your glutes, but not as close as they could possibly go. We're setting up for bridge. Press your feet into the ground, lift your hips up for bridge. Slide your shoulder blades closer together under your back. An option to lift your hands up so your fingertips are facing up and your elbows are on the ground. And then you could slide your elbows closer together and put your hands underneath your lower back to support it. It's going to feel like your elbows are really digging into the ground. And then all of your weight rests on the palms of your hands. And then slowly release that as your hips come down to the ground. A couple pelvic tilts here. Press your low back into the ground. Engage your abdomen and then release. And that's it. Just keep doing that. Press and release. Press, release. And again. Press and release. Good. Bring your right knee into your chest. Extend your left leg long. And then bring your right knee out to the right. Keep your left heel anchored into the ground. Can you circle your right ankle around 3 times in each direction? Sometimes when I do this, I don't realize how much my ankles needed some attention. And then bring your knee across your body to the left, right arm out to the right. Soften the muscles on the left side of your neck. And you can do that through the exhale. Straighten through your left leg more to press through your left heel. See how that changes the dynamic of the pose. Soften the eyebrows. And then bring the right knee back to center. Straighten your right leg up to the sky. Maybe flex your foot and then maybe slide your hands up towards your right calf. You can even bring your forehead towards your knee. For 3, 2, 1. Release the leg. Bend the knee, bring it into the chest. And we'll switch out our legs. Left knee comes in. Left knee opens to the left. You're still holding on with both hands. Flex your right foot, anchor the right heel down to the ground so you have a sense of being anchored down through the whole right leg. Circle your left ankle 3 times slowly in each direction. And then bring your knee over to the right side. Left arm opens to the left. Oh yeah. Soften, smooth out the breath and the mind. Flex through your right foot, straighten through your right leg. This is a breath-focused, a breath-centered practice. So let the breath be at the forefront of the practice. Bring your knee back to center. Take your legs straight up to the sky. Flex both feet. You could stay or slide your hands up to your left calf and maybe even do a little crunch to pull the leg towards you. Make sure your right toes are still pointing up and that your foot's not falling out to the side. For 3, 2, 1, release. Knee into the chest. Both knees come into the chest and rock side to side. And bring your feet down to the ground. Bottoms of the feet together, knees wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. Put your hands on your belly. As you inhale, feel the belly expand and rise. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale and fill up. Take an extra sip at the top. Hold. Exhale. Again, inhale. Take an extra sip. Hold the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, exhale. One more time. Inhale. Extra sip. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, exhale it all out. Cleansing exhale. Gently bring the knees up. We're going to make our way up into a seat. So you can rock yourself up or roll to the side and rise up. Sit tall. Lengthen the spine. The head rests evenly on top of the shoulders. One more deep breath in. Cleansing exhale. Bring your hands together at your heart center and we'll simply bow together in gratitude for this practice. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the class, please let me know in the comments below. I would love, love, love to hear from you. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and I will see you next time.